So I kind of just accidentally arranged kind of a whole army of my neighbors to come out here and help me do some clearing, so which is great. We hadn't planned on doing this weekend, but here we are. So first thing I need to do though is I got some big holes that I need to get fixed. Here's one. This is the path into where we're going to be going to actually get the wood. So I still got to work on that one. See, I got tractor out here, and what I'm working on is just building up basically like excavator mats, just with some driftwood. Let's see what's going on. So I'll put some more dirt over this and smooth it all out. That way you can drive right over the top of it. But as we drive over it with whatever, it won't just instantly go away because it's got all that wood down underneath there, underneath it, right? That's the idea anyway. We'll see how it works. The tractor's the heaviest thing that I'll be driving through here, and it won't be making a whole lot of trips. We'll just have it out here in case we need it, pull trees over or something like that. So it's mostly just going to be maybe a truck to this point, but probably not through that. We probably won't put the truck all the way through there. Probably leave the trucks over here. And we'll use their mule that we just got done fixing, and just tote wood back and forth from over there where we're going to be cutting on it and stuff to get it back up here towards the road. So now you would think if the tractor can make it, being the heaviest, everything should be able to make it, but that's not quite true because the tractor also has better traction than anything else that we're going to be driving through here. So, all right, I've about got this where I like it. We'll find some more piece of wood to throw up on the front side there. And there's just a little pile of dirt that I've been scraping up to add some extra fill. So keep getting that kind of prepped up and ready. Do the same thing right here in this hole. And then everybody can get out here with whatever they need to, and we'll get a bunch of clearing done. So I'll be back with you in a minute. Alrighty, so I just fed my last hay bale to my cows. Up over there, I don't know if you can see the line. Oops. Not paying attention where I'm going, I can't see in front of me. And definitely just ran right into the Honda. So I've got a hay bale back here and two of them on the front of the tractor. That's why I can't see where I'm going. These are from my neighbor, so they're helping me out with hay because I need just a little bit more to get me till grass starts growing again. So grab 3 of their bales up. Try not to run into anything else. Power pull up here in front of me. Try not to hit that one. I want to make it 2. One that I hit back there a while back, no big deal. I didn't actually hit the pole, I hit the guy wire, for the record. Much harder to see, especially when you're looking behind you. Anyway, they're helping me out though with this hay. So my hay is done for the year. What I'm going to do is we'll open up the, once the calves run out of hay, probably tomorrow. So all 3 of these bales will get fed to my cows off over here. Way off in the distance. They'll all get fed tomorrow. So these are about 500-pound bales on average. One of them that I grabbed here, it was kind of a baby. So that happens, you know, when you're rolling them up, you get to the end of it and you've only got like half a bale or 3/4 of a bale or whatever you got left. You end up with little bitty bales. So I've got 2 solid 500-pounders and then a smaller one's probably closer to 3, maybe 400 pounds, which puts me right around my 1350 mark, which is what they need for my cows. Once the calves over here, once they run out of hay, which again, probably tomorrow after I feed, I'll close off the gates around the hay barn here, and I'll open that up to them, and they'll be able to get back in the hay barn and eat whatever's left on the ground. So I've got kind of that pile of hay from the hay bale that had fallen apart, a couple of them actually. So it's like half a bale. That'll tide them over for a day, maybe a little bit longer, and then I'll have to go get another one of these smaller 500-pound bales and start putting those out for the calves, as many as I need. And then what we're doing is I'm just neighbors let me into the hay barn, and we're just keeping a tally. So they've calculated it out, and they've got plenty of excess this year, and then hopefully I won't be back in this situation next year. But they've got plenty of extra to spare this year. Just happened to had pretty good hay season for them. They got 2 cuttings on their hay meadow, which is back behind me that way that they lease. And they also harvested, I think it's 5 acres of hay grazing. So that bought them a little bit of extra having that hay grazing. So they ended up with a little bit more hay than they needed. I ended up with a little bit less hay than I needed. Works out, we can help each other out. Slow this down here. Parking brake. Alright. So this is the pile I'm talking about. They'll be able to eat on all this, the calves. And so all I have to do to let them in here is close this gate here. There's another one over there back behind me. And then I'll just open up the fence. Where's it at? Just pulling away. Fence right over here. There. Open up that fence. Calves will be able to come in here, and we'll make sure and clean up all these little bits of twine that are still left laying in here. This stuff, we don't want them to eat this. That's bad. That can actually get knotted up in their gut and kill them. So obviously that's not good. So tomorrow I'll make sure I've got all my little bits of string and net wrap and twine and whatever else is laying around out here. Make sure I've got that somewhere where they can't get to it. And just like that. And then I'll turn them in here and let them eat on as much of this as they want to. And then once they've eaten this down to the point that they're going to, we'll start feeding them these smaller bales again. And yeah, we'll close them back off in here. And then I'll just push all of this out of the hay barn, whatever's left, wherever they don't eat, because they pee and poop all over it and get it nasty and they don't want to eat it again. Or, well, not again. Well, again, they don't want to eat it again, right? They poop all over it. They don't want to eat that twice. So anyway, once they've eaten what they're going to eat, we'll just push all of this out. We'll move, you know, the Ford, the new hauling, move everything. Well, I'll be in the new hauling. We'll move all the equipment out of the way, though, is my point. We'll push all this out of the hay barn and then just light it off and burn it over there somewhere. And then we'll start with a nice, fresh, clean floor in here, clean slate, and we'll be ready to go buy hay for next year. So you don't want to buy hay this time of year if you can help it. You know, just to go buy from somebody that commercially produces hay, because everybody knows if you're buying hay in February, or it's March now, if you're buying hay in March or February, you're hurting, right? So you miscalculated, you ran out, went through hay faster than you meant to, and yeah, you're desperate. So they give you a big old screwing when you buy hay this late in the season. So prefer not to do that if I can help it. Hopefully the neighbor has enough that she still has enough for all their cows and enough to get me through until grass starts growing again. So one thing I need to do is run across the creek. It's fescue over there. It'll be coming up sooner than my Bermuda pastures out this way. But even with having calves out here, spring is coming, guys. That's a good thing. It's going to bring rain, which isn't going to fix any of this. But check this out. See that? Green grass. That's good. They like it. All in here. And this has pressure on it, right? All this. There's calves, right? So now this stuff that I'm in also starting to come up. No pressure on it yet. So it'll have a little bit for a little while. But even the grass has got a little bit of pressure on it. Granted, just calves, not full-grown cows. But starting to come up, starting to turn green. So we're close. I almost made it. And in fact, if it hadn't been for that cold snap, going out and putting out 2 bales a day just so that they'd have enough bedding to not freeze to death, I would have made it. I'd have been right on track and good to go. So anyway, once again, they're helping me out with some extra hay, get me through until grass comes back. And then as soon as that is nice and green and lush and ready, we're just going to move the cows across the creek, get them over there, and they'll have plenty to eat on while the pasture that they're in recovers. And all of this starts to grow and turn green, and all this Bermuda pasture, it won't take long. Once the temp comes up, we get days that average, you know, for a week or 2 in a row, average above 60 degrees. All of this mud will disappear over here, especially if I stop driving through it. All of this brown will turn green. won't take long once it starts. So we're almost there. Almost made it. Almost made it. So luckily they can bail me out. I don't have to go pay like $50 a bale for some subpar, grass hay that they mowed out of a ditch somewhere full of all kinds of weeds and, cockleburrs and whatever that's just going to screw me in the end and then cause me to have to spray more. So all of this hay came from right over there. I know where it came from, in between that house and, what am I pointing at? That house and that house. That pasture over there. That's where this grass came from. So, and it's decent. It's pretty good. In fact, the stuff that they have left is all their first cut, which is better hay anyway. So, works out well for me. Anyhow, everybody's fed for the day. Calves got fed, and they've still got enough hay. They're eating it fast. They don't take long on it, and they waste a lot of it. I talked about that in the last video, I think. So, we're going to have to build a better feeder for feeding out the calves, hay that is, because they just waste a bunch of it, which is okay. But you can see how much is still on the ground over here, and you can see the ones they're working on, kind of the same thing. About 3 times roughly the diameter of what the bale started out is about how they spread all that out. So, and then they just walk on most of it. The thing about calves though with hay is that they're only going to eat the stuff that's really soft and tender and the most palatable part of it. Cows don't really care. They just grab mouthfuls and they eat it all. Calves, they only eat the really yummy, delicious stuff, the little tender parts that they like better. So they're always going to waste more. But I think we can do better if I get either rings or a different type of feeder. There's a system I'm going to build, and it's kind of a V like this, just with a bunch of slats on both sides, and you can just dump 3 or 4 hay bales in there. It's a little bit better system, so I could stack them up with, say 4 hay bales and then be good all week. And they won't step on what they haven't eaten yet and poop all over it because it's up over their heads. That's the idea anyway. We'll see how well it actually works with calves. So I'll have to keep it down low enough to the ground that calves can get to it. And if it works well, I'll do the same thing for the cows in the future. So, all right. See you guys tomorrow. Brought the Honda up to the house, and it's sitting on blocks. It's hard to tell. I think I can get them tires off because my new tires came in for it today. Each one of these is a set of back and front. So anyway, we'll get the old ones pulled off and thrown in here, and then while I'm at work tomorrow on my lunch break or my other breaks or after work if I need to, we'll break the beads down on those old ones, get these new ones put on, and bring them back out here. And hopefully tomorrow or the next day that CDI box should be here, and hopefully we'll have the Honda up and running again with new shoes on it. So pretty good looking tires, nice and meaty. They're Sun F. Don't know anything about them, never heard of them before, but they were cheap on Amazon, so that's what I bought. So normally I would just run the bucket on my tractor and then I could throw feed bags in the bucket, but since I have to go to my neighbor's hay barn to get hay right now since I ran out, I think what I'm going to try and do today is I'm going to drop these off right here by my gate. Hopefully it's not too muddy right there. And then I'll run over there and I'll get hay. I'm going to throw 1 hay bale over the fence, and I'm going to grab 2 on the front, 1 on the back, and that's what I'm going to come out here and feed these girls. And then the other one's going to be for my calves. And so whenever I come out of this pasture, back through this gate, I'll grab up that hay bale and bring it back to the calves. I think that's going to be my plan for now. So the idea is, got those 2 bags of feed right there, dropped off and waiting for me. So now, whenever I get back with hay, I'll just stop short right there, grab one of those, and I'll go put it out. That'll get the cows distracted and get them out of my way. And then I'll be able to go start getting hay set out. I'll get that other bag dumped out for them as well. That's the plan anyway, so we'll see how it works. I'll talk to you in a minute. Well, that worked more or less the way I planned it. Hay bale sitting right over there in the dark. Barely see it. Calves are back in here. Got them in the hay barn so they can finish kind of cleaning up for me. Looks like they got a little bit more that they'll probably eat, so I'm going to give them a little bit tomorrow. Probably about, oh, I don't know, half the day or so, and then I'll come out and put that other bale. I'll just throw it over the fence right over here into there for them. And yeah, they should be good to go. So everybody's fed, everybody's got hay. Also trying over there, I didn't unroll the bales I got from my neighbor. Hers, they don't seem to unroll as well as mine. I don't know, mine, the ones that I used to have that I'm out of, when I unrolled them, they'd be, you know, 8 to 10 inches thick. These ones, when I unroll them, it's like 2 to 3 inches thick, and so it goes basically just as far, even though it's half as much hay, and I'm not sure how efficient that actually is. So yeah, I just stuck 2 of them out there and didn't even unroll them at all. One of them I was kind of unrolling and got about halfway done and just left it. So we'll see how they do with that. We'll see if they clean that up. I figure with 3 bales, they, you know, all 45 of them should be able to get on them pretty well. So anyway, see you in the morning. So I was helping a neighbor out with something earlier, and then decided I wanted to run over here across the creek where I'm at, and just look at the grass, see how everything's doing. Looking good. It's all fescue out here. Not all fescue. A lot of fescue though, so starting to come up. Spring's on its way, so thinking about moving cows over here. While we're here, you notice this big old tree. It's falling down, you know, right across my fence. Now, last year, I come out here and found it, and kind of half-ass patched the fence over here. I see my splices in over there. So they're falling right through the fence. The original T-post, as you can see, it's a good 2 foot shorter than the rest of it. The rest of them. Anyway, so she's on her way. We went, got all of our chores taken care of, and I'm gonna climb up in this tree out over here somewhere and just start cutting all these branches off and get it cut completely out of the fence, and then they can use it for firewood or whatever we want to do with it. She's gonna help me out though. So beautiful day. It's like, it's gotta be in the 70s, mid 70s, I think. Beautiful. It's crazy. Just, it was like 3 weeks ago, it was negative 13. It's Oklahoma for you. Before she gets here, I just want to kind of walk around and look at this a little bit. So this is 1 year's worth of just land management. Got a lot still needs to be done, but so 1 year's worth of mowing, spraying, and running cattle on it. I don't know if you guys remember, but this whole area back here was just nasty. It was grown up, you know, 3-4 foot tall with just briars and brambles everywhere. Well, the whole thing looked like this. This whole, I think there's about 20 acres over here. This whole 20 acres, it looked like what's in here in the trees, where we can't get to bush hog in there yet. We will fix it. So this is the next project. We kind of got all this looking the way we want. You can see, I mean, how much grass there is. I don't know how obvious that is. Get down here closer maybe. I mean, it's a lot of good fescue. And this is still, it's early in the year, so it's got a lot of growing left to do. Here in about a month or so though, we'll be moving cows back over here, putting them on it. So the next big project will be areas like this, getting all these brambles out of here. And this is just, I think they call this green briar, what all this stuff is. It's got thorns on it. Sucks. But we made a huge dent in it versus last year. So last year, you know, I was rotating cows through here, trying to help them, get them to help me clean it all up. If you guys have seen those videos, you remember I was constantly just tripping and couldn't walk through any of it because it was just so nasty. It was so grown up, and just like, you know, in here in the woods. So anyway, it's looking good over here. So got it mowed in the fall, so that's good, and that's a lot of the reason why it looks good. But I sprayed it as well. Graze On and Remedy mixed together out here. Huge pecan trees. Awesome. It's not just like the one of them either. And another one. And another one. Another one back behind it. There. Big one right there on the other side of the fence. It's beautiful over here. I love it. So this is what I want. This is kind of what they call a silvopasture. And so the idea is you've got all these big trees and stuff, right? But keep everything cleared out underneath, keep all the small shrubby stuff cleared out. And it's just kind of like a park, you know, beautiful grass everywhere, and then big beautiful trees everywhere as well. So, you know, got this huge, awesome pecan tree, right? Now I need to work on cleaning it up around the base of it. There's a hackberry tree growing up right next to that as well. But I just need to get all this, you know, vines and stuff. So these pecans, what I need to do, maybe I'll do it this weekend, who knows. What I need to do though is come in here and branches, limbs like this one. That's a little bit too low, so we can't get the tractor underneath it with the bush hog. I could get my Ford under there. But I need to come in and just trim some of these pecans up so that they're easier to mow underneath. And I need to take out, like back behind me, some of these smaller, just kind of junk trees. These little guys over here. Just get rid of them and dig out the stumps. You know, here that's not a pecan. I think that one's an oak, but you can see it's got some other little trees growing up right there next to it. I need to get rid of those. Just select for the ones that I want. Basically is the idea. Here's another one once again. Beautiful big tree, but then there's another little one growing up right there next to it. So I need to get rid of that. If I come out here though, and pecans, now they always kind of fall apart and see branches like that, but they're awesome trees. They make a lot of debris, but it's not a huge deal, and I like to have them. So pretty cool. I did not really find any pecans on the ground. You know, you can eat them; they're delicious, right? So if I can get them healthy and get all the undergrowth cleaned up, then maybe I can come out here and pick up pecans. Even better. Here's another one. See, this branch is low enough I can touch it, right? Obviously can't drive a tractor under that. So need to get up there. The problem is that branch is that one way up there. It's really far. So I got to get way up there to that one right there. And that's the one that comes all the way down over here. So I'll probably end up having to cut that whole branch off. And then, you know, this stuff just makes firewood for my neighbors. I could sell it, but I'll probably just give it to them. More of them over here, back behind me. That one. Also got branches hanging down too low. So I just need to come out here and trim, work on all this. Just land management, slow process. Obviously this one's all grown up around it as well. But in 1 year, this is a huge improvement. So I'm pretty happy with the way that this looks this year compared to, you know, last spring. A lot of work yet to be done. Hay barn off there in the distance. A lot of work yet to be done, but looking good. We're on track, so I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, neighbor ought to be over shortly. We're going to cut on this big tree over here and yeah, see what we can make out of it. And that's it for this one, I think. So thanks for watching, guys. See you guys next time.